in your face.
Are we talking?
Oh,
Are
hey.
we? Uh, this has been
Hey.
ass.
Wait, am I the only one that's seeing the red thing?
Yeah. Well. Good evening, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mm. I'm sorry, I'm blowing out the candles. It's my birthday in 6 months. Hey, what's going on? We having a good time. We back
Return.
to talk more blurty stuff. I'm your boy, the real Vince Taylor. We are joined by the panel. We've got Tiffy, we've got Omar, we've got Kev, we've got Ty. Omar is about 2 pounds lighter than he was about
Yeah.
Why is this still a subject?
If you give me the, I am incredibly
Stop.
good.
No,
with
I'm going to be
I won't.
rude about this at this point.
I won't. I won't say anything. I'm just saying I'm very good with imagery. I am
I,
incredibly
and,
good.
and that is why I'm asking you to
I
stop.
won't. I won't.
I'm sorry. Uh-oh. Oh no, did I put this on comment? Oh, anyway. So since we are here now, we were talking about a couple things that I think are pretty let's just say
Relevant.
common amongst those of us that did
Oh.
grow up liking comic books and things of that sort. This is not an uncommon topic. We've kind of touched on these things before, but in terms of like bullying, there was the notion that maybe some of us that were bullied may not have actually been bullied. Me might just have been asshole kids that deserved it.
Or teenagers.
Some of y'all needed a G check-in. Some of y'all needed a G check-in.
Because all right, if I get, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna give my little rendition. All right, so Kev has already said that he was the popular kid, which isn't saying much because he grew up in St. Cloud. So
There was only 40 of
It's like 40 of us.
St. Cloud is where they make horses for people that don't know. And Ty, he's just, I mean, he's still cool. Like he's still the same cool ass dude. Like I get cool points just from being friends with Ty. This is why he's on the podcast. I'm using him. However, with regard to Omar and Tiffy, I think that they had Tiffy. We've discussed this before. I think on our first chance of our first opportunity to get to speak with Tiffy, she kind of conveyed to us that you never really had to like. You were a Sailor Moon fan, all right. It wasn't something that you had to turn off when you were in certain circles. You were your natural, fun-loving self all your life, and did not really face backlash for it ever at any point, at least in school. Unless I'm wrong.
Wait, no, that's not true at all.
Okay, all right. Correct the record. My apologies.
No, no, it was a very opposite of that experience. I enjoyed Sailor Moon a lot and all of that, but definitely was teased for it and like made to feel bad for being a nerd and liking Sailor Moon.
Oh, okay. That's
my apologies if I did not convey that correctly, but oh yeah.
No. I could be misremembering. I've done a few things in my life. Not sure what that have maybe mess up my memory. But hold on. But Omar, I'm taking that maybe you similar experience, not a similar experience. I mean, you're the tri-state guy.
Yeah. I think it's like more 70-30. I don't think I've never like, oh, you're reading like all I'd ever talk about was the shit, but also like it was me and my friend Phil. So like, and we liked wrestling. We're talking about the same thing. And then my friend Elvis moved in when he moved to our what's it called, our city, and we're on a track team and shit. But like I would hang out with my teacher. We would talk comic books all the time and shit. I bring it into class and like but then again, like that was like my environment. Then like the environment was cool and the people were cool for that as well. I'm sure I got like middle school is like, dude, are you a headbanger or are you into hip hop? What the fuck, the way you dress, like but you're still finding your voice and shit, right? But I also think like when I'll circle back around to it. But I think when people are like, oh, I was made fun of for this, I was bullied for this. Like, okay, what was the age range? Were you a college or were you older? Were you a teen? And if you were a teen, how were you talking to people as well? Will is big on this. Like, okay, how were you talking to people? Like, if it's a woman saying that she's into like, oh, I'm into this thing. Were you challenging them? Or oh, you're not actually, you know what I mean? Like. But then were you bullied or were you the asshole? And there's like the proper response. Or were your friends assholes? You know what I'm saying? You needed better friends. That was also like those, you know what I'm saying? Or the case where like, yeah, you were being teased, like, or you're being teased, but it wasn't meant like that. Or like, oh no, they were roasting you ass. So there are these it's not just the one category. There's 4 different scenarios here, and all those 4 different scenarios include the people, the environment, and also the time as well.
Go ahead, Kev.
All right, so I I wanted to give my perspective because I love this conversation. I think that there are so many people who are being bullied, and I think that there needs to be light shined on that, and I don't tolerate bullying at all.
Yes.
However, I will agree with Omar's point. Well, I think that a lot of times some people are not being bullied. Some people just need to be put in their place. I think there's an arrogance that comes from knowledge. And I think that a lot of times when we're young, we might speak into things from a place of entitlement, because it's like, this is my thing. How you don't know about this thing, and I get like that. If a thing that I was really into in my high school and college years, college age years, was Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Yu-Gi-Oh I don't want to say professionally because that sounds really corny, but I played. Yeah, I played at
Speak your truth.
Yeah, I played it at a very high level. I was a top 16 player in the city of Orlando. I went to tournaments, national tournaments. I won regional, many things. I was
that nigga. I was that nigga on the cards.
Yeah. I keep a deck on me. Just in case.
Can we see the trophy case?
Yeah. I got it all behind me. So I played Yu-Gi-Oh at a high level, but a lot of people watch Yu-Gi-Oh casually. So what will happen is people will start talking to me when they find out I play Yu-Gi-Oh, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician. Yeah, I remember the TV shows." Like, nigga, no, this is not that. This is not the TV show thing that you like. I play for real. Like, I do this. Like, people call me and ask me for advice, and I had to check myself. I'm like, nigga, why are you being so arrogant about this? It's like, it's a game for children, and that version of me deserved to be bullied. Like, relax, nigga. So I just think that there's different times and places of people being bullied.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was the video games thing. You know, I considered myself an aficionado. Like, when a game came out, I prided myself on the block of being the first to beat it, because I would put in hours to hours. And you could cook eggs on my Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you were proud of it.
Yeah. You know, but I also think that some of this has to do with surroundings. Like Omar and Ty kind of grew up in the tri-state area, where there is an urban mixture when it comes to culture, your culture mix. Tiffy, I'm not 100% up to speed on exactly your full origin story, but I know you're in Cali now. I'm not sure if that's where you grew up per se. It is okay. So I don't know if you grew up in Compton or type environment, or
San Diego, but they call me Malibu around here.
Ma'am.
Are we talking? Are we? Because one thing that we've all, with the exception of, I'm gonna say honestly, with the exception of Ty, and I've known Ty over 20 years, I think all of us in here have let it slip somehow that we have a small, I don't want to call it a fetish, but an affinity towards certain music, which some people describe as white music.
Even though we made that shit, but okay.
We had like a 5-minute Tiffy Star Child a kiss session of the reference. Omar has already told us that one of the songs that he would come out to was I can't remember what it was.
Before I forget, Slipknot.
All right. And one of the videos I have that I'm working on with him right now, actually, there's a brief System of a Down appearance. Me personally, I had a culture shock to move from St. Louis to Orlando was like to move from like Compton to Brentwood. You know what I'm saying? It was a culture shock, and I found myself wanting to be accepted, so I accepted some other cultures. I can speak about this now. There's a time where I wouldn't be able to say this stuff out loud because I was ashamed of it. But the truth is, I was like, all right, well, I'm around white folks. If I want friends, I'm gonna have to have, they're gonna have to probably
have to watch Friends. What Friends? I gotta see what Ross and Rachel is up to.
Because one thing that I'm noticing is, when I hear Ty and Omar kind of say, I didn't really have the bullying issue, or I didn't have that. When I think about it, when I was in St. Louis, I didn't have that. That wasn't a thing either. When I was around people that looked like me, there were always people like me that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a big deal. But when you get put into a PWI type situation, now you're not the way I thought you were supposed to be. In fact, you're weird. Like, why are you carrying around Spiderman trapper keepers? You know what I'm saying? And like, who really is that excited about these new Star Wars movies dropping? I thought, shouldn't you be more worried that Jordan's retiring and shit like that?
Yeah.
And I felt like battling those two typecasts within the realm, and now in the South, because I came from the Midwest, in the South, the niggas is they're doubling down. Like, yeah, goofy ass nigga, like they call me Green. They call me a dog. First, hey, what's up, dog? I'm like, who? Wait, what? Like, wait a minute. Me, dog? You know what I'm saying? I'm no dog, bruh. Blood, you better bring.
I'm no dog.
I don't think
you mad Green for that, cuz. You green for that.
I don't think that. I think that there's more complexities to it, and it speaks not just to race but to culture, right? Like, Southern culture is different than the way you and Ty talk about your New York, New Jersey experience. But I'm detecting some similarities here. Am I tripping, Ty? My bad.
I just want to say this, like it's deeper than that, because like it literally started at the root. Like, think about what you was playing with as a kid. I was playing with Transformers.
Yeah.
I was playing with He-Man, and Masters of the Universe. I came up with Spider-Man, with the Flash. And these are shows that are coming on TV like we had back then. They were corny as hell, but they were that was what was on network television. So like, it was like all of this stuff we're coming up with. So at that time, when I'm tapping in with other kids, we're talking about this stuff. If you're not talking, and mine was more of a combination. So that's why I came up the way I came up, because not only am I talking about comic books, but I'm talking about baseball cards. I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about football. And I'm not just talking about it. I'm playing it. I'm out here doing it. So it was never, it always transitioned, because these kids that I'm coming up with, the same ones that are in the generation that I'm in, that is the culture. That is what we wake up on Saturday morning at the crack of dawn to watch Saturday morning cartoons, because that was the lineup. That's what they fed us, and that's what we kind of all had. So it was never really nothing odd, unless you was like making it weird. Now, if you just weird, you're weird. That ain't got shit to do.
Yeah, weird is weird.
Like, and some people is like, and I'm not. And when I say weird, that I don't mean you're weird in the sense that you should be feeling like you're a weird person. It's just people feel uncomfortable around you. That's they shit.
You Aggie.
Yeah, like that's it. I mean, like. But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that when we was kids coming up, it was already all in the culture. It was everything. It was already there. The seed was already planted. So when we was coming up, it wasn't necessarily that I had to go outside. It was right here in my house. My mom is buying me all of that stuff. My mom is putting me on all of that kind of stuff.
You know, I feel like you speak more from a pop culture area. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's another level of being a dude who has Transformers, which have commercials and everything like that, to being a dude who can quote line for line everything that's said in A New Hope. Who's tried even to this day to turn off his light switches with the force wielding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think I border on that weird tip, man. But
I think a lot of. My bad.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think a lot of it has to do with confidence. I remember being a young kid, and I had a Digimon pouch that had coins in it. I had a coin pouch, which now I'm thinking back to it is a little corny. But I would get cracked on in school. People are like, "Oh, you watch that kid shit? You watch Digimon?" And this is like kindergarten. I'm like, this show is made for our age demographic. I was getting roasted. But I was embarrassed and ashamed in that moment, so I would hide it. I would always flip the coin pouch over so all you can see is the red backside of it. And
right.
Then I thought about it later in life. There was a point of time, there was a shift in my mind where it's like, I don't care if you think that I like I don't care if you know what I like or not. And when I didn't care what other people thought, that's when it gave me the freedom, and then people wanted to be like me. Then people started talking, because we started realizing multiple kids in class also like that stuff too.
Yep.
But they didn't have the freedom to be themselves, but all they needed is one person to be like, nah, dog, I actually love Power Rangers. I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. I've been watching every season since I was a little kid. And people will be like, "Oh, yo, you remember when Tommy did that thing in the first season?" I was like, "Nigga, why was you fronting on me like you was a Power Ranger fan? We could have been talking about this." But yeah, I think confidence speaks, and confidence can shut out weirdness. Weirdness is just like a lack of knowledge, right? And like I'm just ignorant to what it is that you know. You know something that I don't know, so you're weird to me. But now, now I'm like, oh wow, we actually have a lot in common with this. Is super relatable because you're speaking confidently into what you're a fan of. You're passionate about that. I love passionate people, and I love people who are unapologetically themselves. So if you hide in the fact that you're like a Disney nerd and that you like this shit and you don't want people to know that, it's like, oh, you're ashamed of it. Like, that's corny. But if you're like, nah, this is my shit, I'm like, yo, I want to learn about your shit. So
you know what?
I think of my, because you're talking about the environment as well, and I think of my brother because you're like, oh, listening to like certain rock music and things like that. Like, oh, well, did you learn that to adapt to the environment you in? Because now it's predominantly white. We moved from predominantly black.
Yes.
I look at my sister and brother from my mom's first marriage. They're black and Indian. They moved to there. I came to New Jersey later on from my mom's second marriage, but they were living up in fucking Sussex, a certain sound, or like a West New Jersey, and they were the only brown kids in their school. They were only black and brown kids in their fucking school. So my brother's experience was way more different than mine. And he would come stay with us sometimes and come with us a little bit. So like I got comments from my dad, but then from my brother as well. So by my brother, it was almost like my brother was fighting that fight on his own, in a sense. And then I learned from him, like, okay, these certain comics you're collecting, cool. I learned that shit from him without any judgment because, like, oh, it's my older brother. That's what he's into as well. But also, oh, I like these things as well. And I could talk to him about that. So I got the benefit of, like, it was osmosis. Because, like, oh, I learned rock shit because of him. My man didn't dress in like Sean John. My man was the fucking, that nigga looked like Jeff Hardy. That nigga looked like a brown. My brother got the long fucking Indian hair and shit. The shit was colorful. And he got my man was like the holes and the thumb holes and the fucking long sleeves and shit. Like my man, like I'm like, this is the coolest thing alive to me. But like, like he went through, and then he came and lived in my town in Hackensack. Where it's like, oh Jesus, like he
are you from Hackensack?
Yeah, Hackensack, New Jersey. He came here, and one time he's like, you don't remember this, do you? I came home and like some dude called me a coconut in 7-Eleven, and then I came home to you. I was like, what? I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, white on the outside, brown on the outside, white in the middle. He's like, oh. And he's like, you never noticed I'd always brought you 7-Eleven with me after that? I was like, no, why? Because I slapped him and ran. That's why I made sure I had backup every time I went back there. But
come on.
His experiences, but I learned from him through that. And then when he came to where I live, we get started with us, then he had to kind of go through it again. Now with more of like black folks and shit around and shit like that. So yeah, he had to learn it twice. 2 times over, but I got the benefit of, well, it was almost like he was a shield for me because I'm like, oh, when he comes to visit, oh, I learned this, I like this as well. Okay, and like so that also the environment that also cushioned the blow for me as well.
I feel like I had more of your older brother's experience where I was the one to cut the cloth. I'm the oldest. I'm the only oldest on the panel.
I'm the youngest.
Youngest.
I figured Tiffy, brother, young. Yep. Ty, same thing. Ty's a baby. All right, and so
I'm not baby.
I thought you was the baby. Don't you got older sisters?
No, hell no. I got an older brother.
Oh yeah, my bad. Older brother, my bad. See, we ain't really that close of friends.
20 years of friendship, just found out.
I don't even know this nigga like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that is interesting, man. Because what I was more outwardly present with regard to certain aspects of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I did do sports and I enjoyed it. I like football. I like baseball. I'm more of a baseball fan than a football fan, sports watch wise. But I like football. I even played basketball for a couple years. But I honestly, when I was with my cousins and them up in St. Louis, man, like it was funny that I was different. When I came to Florida, it was different that I was different. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a weird thing to me. And I didn't have the confidence as the oldest to go out there and just be like, well, fuck it, you finna get all of me. Because I was like, well, I don't have a support system. Like if I fall, if I start getting, because I did have to fight. I had to fight. Not only bullies, I had to fight racism. I had to fight a whole bunch of shit that I didn't have to expect to fight. And so it just felt like more of a burden for me to also be like, and you also gonna get these gems about what these comic book characters.
You gonna hear about Empire from me.
And this is why Ben Reilly was the best Spider-Man. Like I'm not about to like go out and that's just a joke, by the way. Obviously. Okay. But even though there were multiple clones, a whole other subject. I just think that.
But Vince, when it comes down to it, like that whole scenario is like that was just indicative of the times. Anytime you showed up as a new kid at a new school, listen. I listen. Whoa. I'm gonna show you. Hold on, let me show you.
Yeah.
I'm a Navy brat, so I travel.
Hold the fuck up. Who are you? I didn't know any of this shit.
Hold on, because you ain't never asked. We don't never talk about me. We don't ever talk about me. All right, so anyway, I've lived in Pensacola, Florida. I've been to South Carolina. Yep. I've been to Texas. I've been to Kentucky. And listen, every time I showed up as the new kid at the new school at a new school, everybody hated me except the girls. And listen, the only listen, and I'm being real. And when you get there and you under that type of pressure and you light skin. Now this is all in the South. I'm high yellow pulling up in the South. They really is like, yo, who is this dude? So when it come to fighting and doing all of that, it was all like one time. You only really got to do it one time. And after that, they'll be like, oh, he's cool if they see if you're a cool dude. Now you could be that prick. If you win, I don't know what the alternative is, but like
I got an alternative. I'll tell you the alternative.
I didn't always win.
But
go ahead.
But I'm just saying, like, I just want to make it clear that back in the day, if you pulled up to a school, it didn't matter if you was the coolest, if you was the nerdiest or the whatever. It doesn't matter. You are new meat, and you are a problem. Yes. You are a problem that we didn't have before. Yep. Now we have you here, and we have to now contend with whatever it is that you are. That's what it always was. You always got that energy off the top. Yep. You might get one dude that pulls up like, "Hey man, what's up, man? Where you from?" And he's the guy that but look, you don't realize that he's the guy that already got problems with everybody here. So you like about to be down with the dude that's got issues, and he's looking for yo, you think I'm bullshitting? I'm telling you, I done pulled up with them dudes. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know we had beef. Oh shit.
We're here now.
We're here. So but those dudes are also the loyalists, the dudes that you still to this day could call and they'll be like, oh, we got problems. Like those dudes. So, but I just want to make it clear that it doesn't really matter what your love is or whatever. If you pull up as a new kid at any school, probably even to this day, you're gonna catch some wreck.
Says the nigga who said
so
that.
Nice to the new kids at our school. We were very welcoming and accepting of the new kids.
You strike me as a dude who did like bus patrol. Like you had a badge. Like you're giving me hall monitor vibes.
He was a hall monitor.
He's giving me hall monitor vibes. Hey, class started at 2:30. You know what I'm saying? Like I can already see him. Where's your bathroom pass?
This is shit I'm talking about. Bullied. Y'all bullying me right now. Y'all bullying me.
But this is also coming from one nigga who basically said, like, of course you're gonna get hate, nigga. You said the only problem you didn't have was women. Like that's the only problem I had.
Yeah. I hate it.
I'm like, wait a minute. So women liked you that young? I'm like, oh my god, like, that was a thing. I'm over here like
looking like Ice-T in 4th grade. Talking about
this freaking Drew down.
You get your Law and Order SVU out of my girls' messages.
I mean, except for the you sound like we was just talking about New Jack City. Bitches. Oh my god, the bitches. The bitches go crazy for the shit.
You don't make me stop calling Nino Brown up to get your ass out of
here. Sorry, all right. Well, anyway, enough about that. Enough.
That's what I used to do. I wrote
you had one more thing to say, Omar?
I was gonna say he just gave me a flashback because before I moved to the Tri-State, living in North Carolina, Boston, Maryland, all these places, I'm not an Army kid. It's just like, oh, this is Dad's the job. I'm going this way. From Boston to Patterson, New fucking Jersey in 2nd grade. That was a big fucking change. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's a lot of kids that look like me. These niggas, because you're new, these niggas do not like me. This kid, fucking Deshaun, bullying me after school. I mean, this kid was so fucking, I loved to run. This kid was so fucking fast. I could not catch this kid. Took my book bag and pushed me down. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? What the fuck? And there it is. The older girls saw it happen. Like, oh man, are you okay? And I'm like, what is going on? And the only advice from the parents was like, hey, this is happening in school. Like, oh, you better beat his ass or I'll beat your ass. And then, all right, told my cousin that. Told my mom, all right, well, once your cousin's done beating your ass, if you get your ass beat, then I'll beat your ass.
Oh wow.
Next day in school, I'm like, this shit happens again. And I found out his cousin was one of his friends. And he's like, he's coming at me. I'm like, dude, I do not want to fight you. I'm like, I don't, this is foreign to me. I don't like fighting over, like, I don't understand this. Yeah. But you're like, oh, what's the alternative if you don't stand up for yourself? The alternative was like, there was one day and he didn't have a marker and the teacher scolded him for that. We had a white teacher. She like scolded in front of the whole class for that. And I'm behind him and I'm like, yo, Deshaun. And he just turns around and I throw him a marker. And he could not believe that this person that was like, this person that I was picking on, but like now it blew his fucking mind. Day after that, best of fucking friends. We like all this, no problem. Everyone getting along. We like taught me how to run faster together. Like, so the alternative is that sometimes it's kindness. Sometimes I'm like, but then I did get in a fight with someone else, and then that rage came out, and they're like, oh, so there it was. But yeah, I was just talking on that. Like, yeah, being a new person in an environment, I forgot all about that. It is not easy at times.
Omar, I'm cool with all the people I beat up. I don't have no problems.
That's how we met. It's funny, yo.
Shout out to all y'all.
I just played that whole thing out in my head of like the teacher being like, Randy, where's your marker? And, being like, and Omar being like, hey.
I didn't say hey. I was hey man. It was behind. I was just threw it at him. It was
the marker.
A real condescending moment. And it was a white teacher and full of black kids too. I was like, this feels. I'm young, but I don't know. This feels wrong, but I can't have the words to explain how right now.
Hey, you're not a mark. You're a marker.
And then he catches the marker and he's like, Omar, hold my friendship. He did a friendship move. That was my way of segueing into. All right, it was a bad. All right,
no, I get it.
Tyrone would have loved that shit.
That sounds like one of those specials that used to come on TV. What was them little TV them specials? Them like that would always be like have like a moral at the end of it. It'd be like the back to school that like it'd be like
the more you know.
The after school specials.
Yeah, the after school specials. That's what they was, yo. It was like that.
I always pictured Omar, like tossing the marker and the guy catches it and looks back at him and Omar's just like
come on, man.
And that's how they became friends.
That's how they started playing Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat together.
Yeah, he was the officiant at my wedding and everything. All right, check it out. How about speaking of, but that was a OG Vince attempt at a segue. You'll notice that they're pretty bad. The longer you're on this train, you'll notice that my segues are noticeably. Sometimes I'll win, and I'll be like, "Oh, they were like, yeah, that segue killed it." But like, that was a long way to tell him he did a Mortal Kombat fatality, friendship, just to say. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, but anyway, speaking of Mortal Kombat, now that we hear, Kev, you said that something new came out, but I'm more interested in, before we talk about the Mortal Kombat 1 that's coming out, in the Street Fighter that just dropped. And Tiffy, you've already been playing this, right? Like, you've already been on live streaming and all of that stuff, man. How's the gameplay? What are you, a Street Fighter person?
I was a Street Fighter person way back in the day. Like, I grew up playing Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2 was my favorite. I loved using Chun-Li and Cammy specifically. And then my first baby doll I named her Cammy. I've been obsessed with Street Fighter. I haven't played a Street Fighter game in a very long time. So I was really excited to get into this one. And because of the whole world you can be in, where you can have your own fighter and then you can customize their skill set and their special moves and then take that and fight online with people. And it just looked like this magical world where you can just walk around and fight everybody. I'm like, it can't be that good. It can't be that perfect where you could just fight people on sight, but it is. It is. And it's even better because sometimes people even run up on you and they punch you in the back, or you can punch people in the back and you can just start a fight and everybody's fighting. And it's very, I'm gonna beat up on people today. We know how I feel about Brandons. Every Brandon I motherfucking see.
You ain't ran up on nobody, is it, Tiffy?
You ran up on literally everybody. You can see their level, so you can decide if this is someone that's better than me. This fight is going to be a challenge, or I'm just here to get out some aggression and to fight. So yeah.
Is there a point system, like the more you fight, the more you win, the more you can gain,
level up, you gain different items, and it's really crazy because they just I thought it was like a fictional city, and it is. It's called Metro City. But then one of the views looked very similar to one that I saw when I was visiting New York recently. And I'm like, oh man, it looks just like New York. And I pan the camera over and there's the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, oh, it's New York. So like, and you get to just run around the city, and they have like a little Chinatown area, and that's where you meet Chun-Li. And when you meet the different masters who are just the characters we know from the video game and from the franchise. Like I just ran into Ken when I was playing last night, and I turned off the game because I'm just like, all right, this one I can do on stream because something interesting is happening. And there's just so many avenues you can take. So I can go and follow the main mission, which is tracking down some crime. It's very strange what's going on with the storyline. Yeah,
who are you playing as?
You do your own main character. Her name is Starchild because I'm not creative in every way, and when it comes to so. Yeah, and you can customize the look. Like we've toyed with her face and like just made her prettier. She has an afro. They don't have very many black hair options.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're trying to get better.
But she real moisturized. You can make her skin glowy. She look real good. And then she is stacked. But then she also has Chun-Li's fighting style. And whenever Chun-Li, I guess, dies, so she has like the fighting style when she's fighting, but she falls all the way out.
Dramatic.
It's very dramatic. But it's way more fun than I imagined that it would be. And that's without even getting into the regular gameplay of just playing regular arcade version of Street Fighter, where it's like Chun-Li versus Ryu or Ken or whatever. So I've barely even scratched the surface of that. So that is my recommendation for this game. I think that everyone should get it. It is a lot of fun. And
who's the star player for you? Who's your favorite new character in that game?
Kimberly.
Who's Kimberly?
100%. Kimberly Jones.
Jackson.
Jackson.
Oh, she's like a nigga.
Yeah, she is, and she's super cute. And I think music is her kind of gimmick, where like she has cassette things and like she has her special moves. And on the stream, I'm just like, she feels like she's supposed to be Chun-Li. Like they made Chun-Li a bit more mature. She's like, hey, I've done this. I've avenged my father. I've been here. So Chun-Li is still there, but she's like taking a step back. And then Omar confirmed that she is intended to be this generation's Chun-Li. Like this young woman whose story that we can get behind, we can follow. I think that she is also trying to find out the disappearance of her uncle or someone like that. I think in her storyline. So but she's cute. She's everything. I can't, cosplayers have already killed it when it comes to Kimberly. And I can't wait for more of that to happen, to see her at conventions. She's adorable. I can't praise this game enough. I have not yet even taken it online to actually fight real people yet because I'm scared. But for me to be this hype about a game and I've only barely played 2 versions of it that exists, like I feel like it's a great game.
They be real online. People be
that's what I'm afraid.
The combo strings be so long.
Be
nice with it.
I understand what is good for my mental health and what isn't, So I have my escape plan out the window, and I go online.
But they have like a lot of level-based playing with fighting games nowadays. So you fight people within your skill base.
Okay, that I can.
Yeah.
So you do fighter games too, Kev?
I'm a huge fighting game fan. Yeah, I actually just finished Star Wars Jedi Survivor this week, so I hadn't been playing. Yeah, I hadn't been playing fighting games, but I would consider myself an authority on Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Injustice. I play majority fighting games.
Do you like the Samurai Showdown 2019 one?
Haven't played it. No, I'm not familiar with Samurai Showdown. I think I'm just like on the popular side of fighting games, I guess. I played Mortal Kombat 11, which is probably the most prominent of the fighting games, but that's 2019. So now we just finally got the new Mortal Kombat trailer, so I'm excited about that too.
You fuck with Samurai Showdown 2019?
Yeah, that's what I was like. I'm like, you want to? Yeah, nigga, you trying to get this diligent? That's a game where you said like a more level. It's like it's not like really combo heavy, and it's really like a game of chess, because it's like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna go low, or you're gonna come at me with a high, and it's not like combo, but it's really like swordsmanship shit, and it's like I
have to give that a try. I like that. I like 50-50s and having to know what your opponent's gonna do, and be able to kind of be strategic about that. Counter, exactly.
Yes.
A lot of times people don't realize, like, once you get past the button mashing phase of fighting games, it's analytical. It's like, all right, I'm baiting my opponent into doing highs because I've been hitting him low this whole time, and now I'm gonna follow up or mash up with another string or combo. So yeah,
sound like Omar been Ghost of Tsushima even before it came out. Like he was a samurai. Goddamn,
this dude, great, man.
That's where he fucks with, man. Now I haven't played the new Street Fighter, but I used to play Street Fighter in the arcade.
Who was your guy?
I was a Blanca guy.
I'll know everything about somebody by who their fighting game character is.
All right. Well, I'll tell you like this. Blanca was my guy in the arcade because it was easy. First of all, he looked badass as fuck. Like the dude was this big ass Brazilian brute fuck, green teeth. Where the fuck did he come from? We don't know. He can't stand up straight unless he's celebrating shit. You know what I'm saying? And then this motherfucker, he does this thing where he like all up at you and shit. All you gotta just hold back for a little bit and then front with the top high punch button, and then and you can't. And then if you keep hitting the button, he starts electrocuting you and shit. And he just like, think about those are just 2 4. Now I'm gonna tell you a secret. I never told this. This is breaking news. It's exclusive. I bring it in, kids. One of the main reasons why I like Blanca was because when I first started playing that game, I had trouble with the Ryu.
Forward.
I had trouble. Yeah, the down center forward. I had trouble with it. It was not hitting for me. I was like, I don't get this shit. Goddamn. But I could hold back and hit forward, and I could your ass all day. You know what I'm saying? And so that was now when I was able to learn, then I got better with Ken because I like the top boxing pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I like, but let me tell you when I took it in the second gear, and y'all probably ain't gonna this behind your time. When Marvel vs. Capcom,
nigga,
you know what I'm saying? When Marvel vs. Capcom, my motherfucker, goddamn it, if I wasn't using Spider-Man, goddamn, I was on that Ken Shinryu pop. That motherfucker, when he go up in the air with the goddamn with the fire, bitch, I'm gonna kill your ass. Yes. That was my dog, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know if that's just me, you know. It sounds like I might.
I was a Guile guy.
Yeah, you just Guile?
Guile. That was 1992. Street Fighter 2 came out, and I was on punishment, so I couldn't play it for a week. That was the longest week of my life.
That's crazy.
My dad was in the kitchen. I high-fived my dad.
What did you do to get on punishment?
Yeah, what you did?
She thought I went with my dad somewhere.
Beat up a kid with a marker.
I was outside. I was just outside playing with the neighbors, the kids. And it was like 7 p.m. I came back in. And she was like, "What the fuck? Like you were?" I was like, "I told you I was outside. I told you I was there the entire time." And then I just came in. I was literally in the front. I was like, "Oh, you didn't see me?"
That's crazy that you could speak in 1992. I was born in 1992. You was using full dialogue. You was using full sentences. I was like, he was probably like infant. They probably had the controller that wasn't plugged in, and he thought he was playing. This is a whole grown man. He was paying for an apartment, I think. An apartment.
So I guess I was like, what, 7 or 6, I guess.
All right, damn. Yeah, I'm doing the math right now. Let me math.
Yeah, man. Also, my brother. I had a brother, the older brother. So like, he would come down. Oh, so I'm learning. Then he'd go away and try and play them. You gotta give props to your older siblings, man. They gotta wait for you to grow up to be able to like actually be competent in the fucking video game.
My game when I was a kid was Tekken. My older
Mm.
sisters used to date a dude who was just a Tekken ass nigga, and he brought the PlayStation over to our house. And then my parents bought us a PlayStation for Christmas in '98, and I played Tekken 3 for the first time, and I was obsessed, dog. I was an Eddie Gordo nigga.
I hate you.
Yeah,
I
no,
hate you. I hate
you. As an adult, no, I know that is assault. I know that's wrong now.
Assault.
I'm a better man. I'm a Jin Kazama man as an adult, but as a kid, Eddie Gordo, Capoeira.
I love that.
He had an endless combination that you.
All you had to do is tap square and X together, and then once they figure out that combo, you move over to the other side. You move over to circle and X, and you start spinning on them.
Stand the Eddie Gordo ass nigga, man. These breakdancing ass niggas, get on your knees, hit me in the face ass. God damn it, this is not a goddamn dance flow. Get your ass up and fight ass. I mean, I love the design. I love how it looks. I love the fact that a brother is indestructible, basically. But god damn it, if you're anybody but Eddie, it's a whole hard ass fuck. You need Hihachi like 2.0 to beat. Then you just gotta.
Eddie Gordo, he's a cheat character and he's annoying. He's annoying to play against. So that's it right there. That's the Eddie Gordo.
There's a dude in Street Fighter 6. He doesn't. It's not capoeira. He's a b-boy, but his fighting style is the drunken fist. I'm like, his name's Jamie. I'm like this. He's not all over the place like Eddie, but I'm like, this is my. I'm like, he's a tricky style fighter, and I'm like, if I get the game, it's gonna be for this fucking guy right here. I was like, I was bad with Kimberly. I'm like, I'm all right with this guy. This guy, it just looks so fucking cool, and then you don't really see the that style, the drunken fist style of fighting in fighting games that often. I can think maybe back to like Virtua Fighter, but to see that mixed with the b-boy, I'm like, yes, please, and he drinks when he fights.
Mortal Kombat is missing that. We have like a lot of like ninja-esque characters, but in Mortal Kombat we don't have like a funny, silly, like different like martial arts styles. And I've been a Mortal Kombat fan for the better part of like 15 years now, maybe 20 years. And so I play with who I play with. I'm a Scorpion Sub-Zero type of dude. But if we had a drunken monkey character in Mortal Kombat, I think that'd be cool. We had Baraicho at one point. That was like years ago. Yeah,
you're right. There is no brevity in not a team. They try to make Johnny Cage kind of comedic. But so you so young. Did you know like did you play like Mortal Kombat 2?
No. I came into the first Mortal Kombat game I ever played was because I was a DC fan, and they had Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Which there was an Easter egg in the movie with that shit.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no. So I got it because I was like, I love Batman and Superman, and then I found out about the Mortal Kombat games, and the next one that came out after that was Mortal Kombat 9, but it was a reboot to the series. It's a retelling of Mortal Kombat 1, so it kind of gets you immersed in the whole culture and the world of it without having to go back and play all of the old games.
Everybody here saw Transformers, right?
No.
I don't mind the spoiling.
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch it. I haven't watched the Transformers.
He said you're never gonna watch it.
TBS.
TBS.
So we're gonna talk about the connection that they're trying to make in the post credit.
So I mean, we can. Is anybody? I mean, if don't nobody talk about the spoil shit, I don't.
Fast and Furious. It's the Fast and Furious.
I mean, it might as well be. All
right. So good.
Yeah, everybody good. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, man.
So at the end of the movie, they do the post credit scene, and the dude goes into an interview, and he's talking to an agent, and when he sees the agent takes him into another room. Offers them a business card. On the business card, it says G.I. Joe. So he's for G.I. Joe. So now they're gonna tie in. They're I guess this is the universe.
Hasbro verse.
Yes, basically.
Wow, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I would love to see Channing Tatum and Optimus Prime whoop Shia LaBeouf.
You know what? I will say that on record that I didn't like the fact that The Rock usurped the second G.I. Joe. I thought the first. I even give people gave Marlon Wayans some slack. I liked his character. Fuck it. I didn't.
I know. I love the first G.I. Joe. I love the Storm Shadow and a Snake Eyes relationship. I love that they went into that.
The first G.I. Joe did what it came to do, and for then just be like, you know what, let's trade it for The Rock. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, he kind of jumps through movies like multiverses and shit. Like he, Dom wasn't having none of them no more. You see Vin, you know what I'm saying, they had a little feud, right? When Fast and Furious, like Vin said something like, we wanted to show The Rock, to be humble or some shit, and then The Rock and him, didn't they have like a little baby feud where they was trying to like have words on the internet?
Did that stop him from being in the movies? Wasn't he in all of them? Well, not all of them, not to all of them, but I mean,
The Rock. I think The Rock stopped after like a couple of them. I haven't. Full disclosure, I haven't seen since like I think the third one, like after Brian Austin Green, and after like damn, look, I just lost the whole bottom row. Like
my light went off on that.
Okay. So I like Tyrese and Brian Austin Green's movie. Is it Brian Austin Green? I don't know why I'm saying Brian Austin. But I personally am like, I don't really. I know this is not popular because most of y'all are Fast fans and stuff.
I mean, fans.
But I'm not. I'm having a difficult time not being a car guy and seeing them do weird things like go into space and still be of use. It's just Tokyo Drift and Bow Wow. I mean, it's been places, I hopped off the train for a while. I understand it's good, and I'm not doubting that it is. But it lost me.
It's much deeper than that. It's much deeper than just the cars, obviously, and everything like that. But I mean, it's also one of the things that separates Fast and the Furious from just a car movie is the exclusiveness of what they can do. Like that, it is not something that everybody can do. That's what makes Dom such a superhero, because if anybody can do it, Dom. It always is gonna be one of those situations like, oh, there's no bridge, Dom can do it. Oh, there's no, they're gonna go through fire, Dom can do it. Oh, they're going to space, Dom can't do it, but he's got friends who can do it. We'll send them. Dom's too valuable. But Dom, but that's always been the kind of thing, is that family bond is so strong that it can conquer anything, and they've gone to extremes. Like this last one was decent. I liked it a lot, actually. Yeah. But the one before that was so ridiculous. It was like you were like, he just jumped off a cliff in the car, and then what the hell? It's like, come on, it becomes that, and so like. But yeah, I thought this last one was good. The Rock is back. I mean, I thought he
was in it.
Yeah. No, by this time, it's already on demand.
Well, I don't like to watch things out of sequence. If a movie goes from 1 to 5, I don't want to just be like, well, I'll just start at 4. I got to start at the get. That's a problem. That might be my OCD kicking in. I just sequentially. So if I'm gonna watch 10, I mean, I got to go back and watch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Do it. That's what my wife.
I should. And I already gotta watch, which I have them slided. Last Airbender, so I got to get caught up on that.
I'll do that first.
And then I guess I can watch a fast movie or two. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But the Transformers movie. Since y'all don't mind spoilers, there's a couple things that happened that kind of made me be like, man, get this shit out of here, man. Walk away with this shit, man. If you don't get this shit out my face, all right. So 3, 2, 1, spoils. Nigga, at one point in time, the nigga gets a goddamn suit that turns him into a Transformer.
Okay, I thought that was dope. That was dope as fuck, though. That was dope.
Okay.
5 minutes later, Optimus Prime is being sucked into a vortex, and this little 5'6" nigga that just turned into a robot like 5 minutes ago is now holding on to Optimus Prime by his pinky finger. He has the strength to hold Optimus Prime and keeps him from going to, and is holding on to this motherfucker. It was a very Rey from Force Awakens moment in which he has become the master within, like, instantaneously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
completely
not a fan of those.
devoid of whatever realm of reality we have to live in, and where a world exists where robots turn into to cars and planes and dinosaurs and gorillas. So the level of disrespect for the audience's intellect for me is what slapped me in the face at that moment, and it took me completely out of it. Already out despite the fact you know my contempt for these Optimus Prime cash grab movies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of them taking advantage of the full extent of the Cybertron universe and all of the characters therein that exist, them having to usurp the last bit of juice of Optimus Prime's voice actor's voice it's enough. It's enough. So no bueno.
No, Vince. You're totally wrong. You're totally wrong. You missed that moment. You missed that moment. It was important in that moment because it signified the relationship between Optimus Prime and humans. The only moment and the only thing that could happen in that moment was a human needed to save him in order for his perception and his way that he looked at human beings throughout the whole movie for it to change. And that and it also embodied what needed to happen in order for that human being to be able to be in that moment. Because as a human, he couldn't have done anything else. But to save Optimus in that moment with the last life or last energy given by Mirage's character, gave his life in the moment and said, yo, this is a promise I need to keep to your little brother, because I promised your little brother, who told me it's my ass if you don't come back. I'm coming to get you, which was a beautiful moment in itself. And at that point when he gave his life, you felt like it wasn't just his life, it was his will that he gave him. So it was like when he held on to Optimus Prime, it was my man's will, Mirage's will. And we know that robots in disguise doesn't mean you have a size differential. Like, you could be small and pack a punch. Bumblebee is a formidable motherfucker, and he's not big. he's
not human. I mean, I don't have a problem with a human giving Optimus Prime. Clearly, that was an undertone and theme since the get. They developed that as a plot when he started, railing against Mirage for trusting old boy. But just it's now, all right. Hear me out.
I hear you.
Let me make my comparisons. This is how I communicate. Star Wars, yes, we can say that in A New Hope, is it really credible that somebody can shoot within a 2-inch or however big that little slit was in the Death Star? That was the whole purpose of Rogue One and them going to get those plans that exposed that this was the one weakness. And say, is that credible? Nah. Then how come I don't talk about that? Well, the reason is because in the beginning of the movie, they talk about how good of a fighter he is, how he does this shit. Like, they developed the plot. This dude literally didn't know what a Transformer was like a day before. He becomes a Transformer the next day. And in 5 minutes, he was rescuing the leader of the Transformers. It does not math up, bro. I get the significance behind it. It's just completely not credible. Like, give me something sustained in some level of reality. I get it. Cybertron, these robots, they're talking. I get it. But within this realm, like, if that's the case, like, it's just do the math, bro. The motherfucker's like 5'8". Optimus Prime is like 3 skyscrapers tall, bro. How the fuck does this motherfucker that can't dunk needs to get on his tippy toes to get the cookies off the fridge. All of a sudden, he is rescuing Optimus Prime, the Prime of Cybertron, from going to give me a break. I get it.
Vincenzo.
There's no math in it.
You keep saying you understand. You keep saying you understand the electronics and all of that of it and all of that kind of stuff, but you don't. Because you keep saying he turned into a transformer, which he never did. What he used was the alien technology, the robotics, which is the Transformers. This was literally Mirage transforming into something that encompassed his body and was and basically increased the strength of the suit that he was inhabiting it. And when he gets out that suit, he doesn't have Mirage's strength. He couldn't hold the thumb of Optimus. This is the suit that encompassed him, which is now some technology that he has on his wrist that he's like that. Like this is an Iron Man suit, bro.
But
this is no. I'm sorry. You don't. So listen. So Iron Man uses technology, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So why is it so beyond
you? That got him.
So look. Well, no, that's not what got him. Fucking Thanos has got him. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, why is it so hard for you to believe that there is technology that you can put on a suit and it can give you superhuman strength? You can do things that you never were able to do before, but yet in this whole universe called Marvel, we so know it to exist without fail. So why is this so out of the ordinary?
It's not the level of
the story you would have wrote.
It's not the impossibility and plausibility. It's the fact that he's so small and he's so large, and it just doesn't make sense. That's what it is. It's not his effort. I applaud it. It just, when we go back and watch this, when we watch this again, I mean the movie, I just want to just pay attention to like his hand size, you know what I'm saying, and like what he's holding on to. It just doesn't math up, and it just took me out. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't even just that. I did like Scourge. I kind of dug his the villainry, but you already know how I feel about Transformers and how I'm just ready to.
So what would you rate it?
I need a Rodimus Prime movie. I need him to pass the baton. I need to see more of Optimus's family development. I need for him to stop hogging up the court, Luke Skywalker. Pass the ball, AI. You know what I'm saying?
But Vince,
bro,
we need to see that.
Okay. Shoot, my bad. Tiffy's in the chat.
Yeah,
I missed it. Thanks.
No, but do we need that? But do we need that really, honestly? Because if they're moving on with the G.I. Joe story, we don't necessarily need all of the backstory of that. Because now we just need them to work cohesively to stop whatever next level plot there is, or whatever, next level threat or whatever, it doesn't, like, we've seen enough. Like, I just want to see them give start making those same suits for the G.I. Joes, and everybody got a suit that they now become strong as a transformer and all of that kind of shit. It makes it at least a little more believable. Like, I don't think humans should ever be able to defeat superior alien technology. Like, that's why it's superior alien technology.
And it's smart of Hasbro to do that, because what else can they? They should use everything that they have at their disposal. I just hope that they learn, and in the future, if they do G.I. Joe movies, if they do tag these two franchises and start interchanging and interlocking characters to where we see like a Snake in a Transformers movie, or Bumblebee in G.I. Joe movie. I hope that they keep it that small. I hope that they don't just make it about Optimus Prime. All right, I'm over it. I'm my bad.
What would you rate it? What would you rate it?
I would rate this movie a 6. I'd give it a 6. 6. I hate to. I love the actresses. the actors. I love the young lady that was in it and the dude, and I like everybody did their thing. I think they did their thing. I think that they should have been in this movie, and I'm glad that they went the direction they did. But I'm probably not the one to ask this to either, because I come in with a preconceived bias over the movie based on what it is that I want from it as opposed to what it's given. So I will accept that I might not be fit to answer this as an tainted type of answer.
I'll give it closer to a 7. I wouldn't necessarily say a 7, maybe a 6.8, something like that. But I think there's a lot of things that stand out. One for me is the soundtrack. The soundtrack it gives you 90s all the 90s stuff that you need. Like my man's, like they was dropping the hits. It gave you New York life. It gave you Brooklyn. It gave you everything you needed to see, like from the cultural aspect. What they go through.
That.
Yeah, like that. I love.
Here's what I say I like about it. I liked the way that they used New York. I think it was always in my head, like, how are they gonna do like the Transformers in New York, like for real, like and to use Mirage. I like Mirage. I like them introducing us, because I thought it was jazz at first. When I was like, oh shit, is this jazz? I don't watch the trailers and shit, so I was like, is this jazz?
Oh, Jazz was dead. Oh, they killed Jazz.
But before that, this is a prequel. You know what I'm saying? This is a prequel. This happened in 1994. So if I'm not mistaken, this happened. I mean, even Optimus wasn't. Remember in the original Transformers movie with Witwicky, Sam Witwicky, he, like, Optimus had already been down here. You know what I'm saying? Like he already was believing in humans. You know what I'm saying? So I like that part. I like that they made old girl hella smart and shit. Even though I do think some of these plots have been used over and over again, like the underappreciated, underestimated, problematic, color, person of color story. Don't give them a chance. It's definitely worth exploring, and it's always true. And I stand by it. And I liked how they did it. I will say that it's just unoriginal. You know what I'm saying? But it was good.
This whole movie was unoriginal.
Yeah. So that's all I'm asking for the Transformers franchise. Like there's an enormity of characters to explore. Like there's really no reason to hang your hat on one character and to make each movie based on that character. No other franchise does that. Point blank. Period. None.
You just think it was lazy. You just think this was another lazy attempt.
Well, I think what they said was we're gonna urban up Transformers, and we're gonna do it that way. We're gonna put we're gonna give it people of color leads, which we applaud them for. Thank you. And they did their jobs, and I want them to know I appreciate the jobs that they did. This is not a shot at the actor or the acting. It's more a shot at the level of creativity put into the thought process when it comes to, you can almost see them being like, okay, we want to go this direction with it, but not having a story to go with it. Just saying, here's the plan, and putting together a story that includes characters, but is the same story. It's the same Transformer story.
Is it on the block at King's Theater? That was like the grand, like literally like maybe 5 blocks.
They shot over there. They shot right there. What about the block?
It debuted at the King's Theater.
Oh, it debuted.
For Transformers. It was like the whole red carpet was there, like however long ago.
You ain't go, man. Yeah. See, Ty, we got to get to that level where, like,
I'm just saying it was in a neighborhood. It was in a neighborhood. I'm saying,
you could have went through. You could have posed if you wanted
to. What you're saying though, like, all right, we're going this route with these people of color characters, and you're debuting in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
This historic place.
Yeah, and he was talking about that.
Yeah,
the lead character, I forget, he was like, we brought this to the hood, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff. I was like, all right, we see that, and that's good. And I'm not saying don't do that. All I want is a stronger storyline. I mean, I think we've grown fond of strong storylines. Speaking of which, I wanted to get y'all opinion on something before we start, like, kind of getting up out of here. So y'all know that one thing that's pulling up in the next few weeks is Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
That's supposed to drop pretty soon, right? And Sam L is in it. I understand they might even be dropping all 6 episodes at once. I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
Will saw the screeners. He saw the first 2 episodes, and he was like, "It's fine." He did ellipses. It's fine, which is a whole nother language when talking to Will. But I'm not sure if it'll be episodic or not. I mean, I hope if it's Falcon and Winter Soldier was like 8, and they did it like week by week, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they do still try to like squeeze it out bit by bit.
I don't like that.
Me neither.
Yeah, I think that's a little sketchy, as a matter of fact, because do you not want it to contend with Loki?
Maybe not.
Good point.
Is that maybe sounds sabotage, like a little sabotage going on up there?
Well, let me not. I've already gotten one fact wrong today. Let me.
Please.
Let me verify whether or not they're dropping all of it.
That just doesn't even sound. Yeah, like that. Yeah, but you stand to gain by making it episodic and making it. You know what I mean? Like, why would you put it all out like that? That's.
Let me ask you this: what, with regard to the development of the MCU, and it's kind of it's restructuring currently because it's under construction. Like we got a new Iron Man. We don't know whether or not it's going to be, like in some of the comics, if Miles is going to lead, if there's going to be, a prominent Iron Heart. We don't know what roles are going to be played here. So right now, the Secret Invasion, I would assume, is set to set up the Secret Wars with the Avengers, in which we get a whole lot of information about people that have been here the whole time that we didn't know were not people that we thought they were. You know what I'm saying? And centering it around that. As to what to expect from it, I don't know. I see Samuel L. Jackson's face all over it. Did you find anything out, Omar? Is it giving us any?
The thing it says here is like, it lends itself to just being like not another season. So maybe it will be all 6. I don't think it'll be a series, but there's no like definition if it will be episodic or what's it called?
It just stands to benefit them to make it episodic. The buzz that is created by each episode, after each episode, amongst the community, amongst it like that, you don't want to just sit there and put that whole season out. And that, I feel like if they did, then that I would really start to look around and be like, who's really with me? Like somebody's not making really, really good decisions for what we're trying to do.
Or it might just be mid and they know it already and they don't want it to drag on for 6 weeks.
Nah, that makes even more sense to drag it on. If you know it's mid, you don't drop that mid, because then really it becomes forgettable like that. But at least if I dedicate my time to watching it, and you know this, when you dedicate your time to watching something, you make a somewhat of a commitment. So guess what? If at the end of that whole ordeal, you give me something that it feels like I can get on board with it, then I'll tune in for it again when you bring it back to me. And that's just the way it is. Like, so I would not drop it. I would definitely milk it.
Omar, what's your knowledge of the Secret Wars as far as the comic books are concerned? Well, the ones that it feels like we're more than likely facing in the MCU right now. How many Secret Wars are there? Damn, is it? I mean, I didn't know that there was. I mean, I know there was an old school one from way back in the day.
Yeah, I thought
that
one.
And then okay, all right. I feel like the Avengers model is more going after that one, but if you're speaking of like the more up to date ones, you can speak on those too. I know the James Rhodey version of the Secret Wars from way back then when he was supposed to be like, I guess,
Iron Man,
taking Iron Man's place. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where we are now.
I think it'll be the newer one that was done by Jonathan Hickman, which really, I mean, essentially, it's a secret war and this whole big amalgamation world and shit that was created. Really, I'm like, they did all that just to bring Miles over from the Ultimate Universe to Earth 616. That's how I saw it. I'm like, great story.
They had to do it somehow.
Yeah, I'm like, great story, but you created this whole new world, and I'm like, and you merged some things. And Ultimate Universe went back to being Ultimate Universe, whatever. But Miles was now here in 616, and that's what did it. I'm like, that's what it seems like, and that's what the culmination of all this multiverse shit is coming to now, as well. So it's a reset when maybe, but then the question is like, okay, you do this thing, it's a secret war. do we get X-Men this way? Like, is this how we finally get X-Men? Or is it like, oh, do we go the espionage route where Secret Invasion is related to like, oh shit, like all our government leaders have been replaced by fucking Skrulls and whatnot, and like, oh, we're trying to who's who, figuring that out, because that is what's preceded. That is what was the successor to Civil War. So like, okay, we're here now. We're in Secret Invasion. Okay, then Secret War. So I'm like, but I mean, maybe the Secret War is just like this war between two factions that we haven't really seen yet, or you know what I'm saying, or a war with these Skrulls or whatnot. Like now it's a war with the Skrulls and shit like that.
What up, Minnie? See him in the comments. Secret War. How much Kang got to do with this? Because he's
not this one.
He's supposed to be like the main villain, but they're also pegging like Avengers to be like Secret Wars, which I'm not seeing the correlation.
Me neither.
Jump. We'll have to see. I guess these shows will show us what it is. You believe that's how we get X-Men and Skrulls. Okay, all right. I'm here for the X-Men. It is what it is. But I ain't got too much more. So I think, gentlemen, we can go ahead and call it. I will definitely be reaching out to y'all amidst the week.
Yep.
Thanks again for pulling up for a little while longer. Everybody watching as well. Ty, thanks for hanging out. Omar, thanks. And all in the comments, everybody else, y'all stay up and catch us on the flip side. Let me hit the stop button because I think I'm a little litty.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.